I would like to share with you guys my experience with the substance known as LSD, also known as acid. And I've had a pretty interesting experience with it, and I don't exactly know how it all played out, but I'm going to tell you the story in as condensed of a version as possible. And then I want to share with you my perspective based on my own personal experience, okay? So here it goes. I don't want to spend too much time telling it, so here it goes. I'm going to try my best to condense it. So it goes like this. In 2016, I kickstarted my journey with psychedelics, with magic mushrooms, and I took about 2 grams my first time. It was a wonderful, wonderful, eye-opening experience. Wonderful. Um, Took me about 4 months again to take it for the second time, and when I took it the second time, I had an amazing experience. I did it alone because the first time I did it with friends, and yeah, for the next 12 to 18 months, I would take mushrooms once a month, once every 2 months. I would do it very responsibly, good setting, sometimes alone, sometimes with friends, but mostly alone. I would come back, integrate the trips, etc., etc. And then one time, in this year and 1.5 year span, I took LSD, just a tab, my first time. I enjoyed it. It's basically still like the same. It's the same experience. It's the same theme, but there are certain differences. Some are subtle, some not so subtle between LSD and mushrooms. For one thing, LSD lasts twice as long. But the overall theme is the same. You know, you get the same message: be here now, be grateful, be kind to others. Um, it kind of gives you maybe more clarity on your mission, etc. So I liked it. And so from about May 2016 to about August 2017, so it's about a year and a half span, a little less than that, about 16 months or so. I was just doing it, once a month to once every 2 months in big trips, big trips, one full tab or 3 grams, 4 grams, 5 grams of mushrooms, big trips. And out of all of those trips that I would do once a month or once every 2 months, only one of them was with LSD. In August 2017, I got introduced online to microdosing. I was like, interesting. Somebody was saying, it just simply enhances your senses, enhances your day. You don't really trip. You could do it a couple times a week and it'll just enhance everything. I said, let me give it a shot. So I took a small dose of mushrooms and I really enjoyed it. It was very nice. I went to do some shopping and I was like, I can hear better. I can see better, but I'm not being overwhelmed. It's my normal state of consciousness, so it's just enhanced. And then I was realizing that my conversations with the cashiers, my conversations with people were better. And I was like, interesting, let me explore this more. I waited like 3 days. I looked into the different protocols, and then I took a small dose again. And I went for a walk in nature, and I went to the gym, because you're in the microdosing experience, you go on about life normally. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Okay, nice, I like this. My workout was better. I lifted more weights. I was more attentive to nature while I was taking a walk. I was like, I think I want to do this now. I think I'm not into big tripping anymore. At that time, I had at least 12 trips. If let's say on average it's once a month. Yeah, I had at least 12 trips. I got so much out of those trips, and I was like, I think I just want to live a normal life now. I was YouTubing at the time. I knew what my mission was. I was like, I like how it enhances my creativity and everything. Then my friend told me, hey, you can order LSD online. And I was like, really? And I looked into it. I was like, it's more, because mushrooms weren't always available, depended on my dealers. So it wasn't always available. With LSD, you could just order it, and it was much cheaper if you ordered it in bulk, and you always had it available. I was like, okay. And it lasts twice as long, which is a big deal for me, because the whole point of microdosing for me, I want to take it as soon as I wake up, and I want it to last the whole day. And so LSD lasts twice as long as mushrooms. So I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. I ordered a small package, about 10 tabs. And so for your average tab, your microdose is about 1/8 to 1/4 of a tab, anywhere in between that. So I started experimenting. I got the scissors. I would cut the tap into like an eighth. I took it, enhanced my senses a little bit, waited a few days, increased a little bit to 1/6. I was like, 1/6, I like that. 1/6 of a tap. I like, this is a nice. It's giving me enhancing my senses without overwhelming them. And I was like, all right, we're microdosing. That's it. I kicked off. I'm like, this is the microdosing experience. I like this. LSD, very efficient. The shipping is quick. It's much cheaper. I'm always gonna have it available to me. I don't have to talk to a dealer. I don't have to wait for them to get, new supply or anything. And in about September of 2017, I started the experiment. I said, all right, I will do it every 2 days or every 3 days, something like that. And I started doing it, 1/6 of a tab, it's nice. And my creativity just opened up. I would sit down, I would make I'm not kidding, 12, 13, 14 YouTube videos in a row. And I was like, man, this is magic. This is magical stuff. And I was just like, oh, wow. I was like, I don't want a big trip anymore. I love this. I just want to focus on my mission. I loved my workouts. They were so much more enhanced. I can lift more. I can do more. And I said, this is fantastic. That's it. I'm going to microdose. And I looked into it and I looked into the research. There was no research that suggests any negative consequences of long-term use. The thing is, by the way, there aren't many studies on that, but I had such a bias. I wanted to hear that this is not going to affect you negatively. In fact, it can only affect you positively, because some people say there's research about magic mushrooms particularly that it can actually regenerate brain cells. It can regenerate neurons if you microdose it. So anyway, I really didn't want to hear anything negative. I was so in love with this. I loved it. It enhanced everything in my life, made me feel grateful. Every day I would just sit down and I would just say thank you, and I would cry tears of joy. And I lived in this place next to nature. I would go for walks every day, and I loved it so much. Loved it. I said, that's it. That's the way. I just thought of it as like a supplement. And I was like, yep, I'm just going to supplement this for the rest of my life. I was just so in love. It gave me a similar feeling to when I first got into cold showers, and I was so in love. And I kept preaching them to everyone, and I was like, oh my God, you guys, it's so good, so good. So it gave me that same, when you discover something that impacts you positively. And so I responsibly microdosed for like a month, 2 months, something like that. But then I began to develop a little bit of a tolerance. So I started increasing the dose. I'm like, all right, from now on, I'm going to do 1/4 of a tap. And then pretty soon, I was like, I want to do them more frequently. So I'm going to increase the doses. So at some point, I wanted to do it 5 times a week. I wanted to do it 5 days in a row, take 2 days break, and then do it 5 again. Kind of like Paul Stamets protocol, just with LSD instead of mushrooms. So you do 5 days in a row, take 2 days break, and then you go again. And so I really began to increase the dose, right? Like not just to offset the tolerance, but I think my psychological tolerance for the psychedelic state was starting to increase. So I started to do like, okay, let's say day 1, I would just go straight into 1/3 of a tap. And I would not feel like a microdose. It's more like a mid dose. Second day, I would go a half. Third day, I'd go a half again. And then fourth day, I'd go like 2/3 of a tap. And then the fifth day, I'd just take a full tap. And I just started doing that week in, week out. And I can tell you, this wasn't microdosing anymore. But it wasn't full tripping neither. It was mid-dosing, no man's land. It really was, that's the perfect description. It was mid-dosing. And I really enjoyed life. I'm not gonna lie to you. I continued doing life as normal, by the way. Everything was normal. I would go to the gym. People wouldn't be able to tell that I'm on a handsome, decent dose of a pretty powerful substance. And I would just be so talkative with people, so loving. I would just be so grateful. I mean, I was having a fun time, man. I was really having a fun time. When you microdose, or especially mid-dose even, because, you're mid-dosing, you're like tripping, but not really. Like you're perfectly functional in this world, but you have all these psychedelic revelations and psychedelic thoughts in your head. It's a really interesting feeling, and I was really loving it. And I would take 2 days off, reset the tolerance, and I would go again. And I kept doing that, and I kept just living a normal life. And I was eating once a day. I loved it. So I was basically just doing OMAD, one meal a day, because it was so easy. Because you're not hungry. You don't want to eat when you take any psychedelic, especially if the dose is on the higher spectrum. And I was loving life. I was loving life, and so let's do a little quick math here. Actually, I haven't done the math before, but maybe this will give us a good idea of how many tabs I've actually done. So let's say one third, so 5 days a week, right? So a third and a third, that gives us so one tab. So let's say the 5th day, one tab. The 4th day is 2/3. The 3rd day, I'm gonna just ballpark it here and estimate. The 3rd day is half. That's already 2.5. I was doing about 3 tabs a week, give or take. Okay, if you combine all of this. And I did this for about 2 to 3 years. So let's do the math here. There's 52, and I'm ballparking here, okay? This math is not 100% accurate. So 3 tabs a week times 50, let's just say 50, it's easier math. 50 weeks a year. I know there's 52, but bear with me. 50 weeks, 50 times 3, 0, 3, that's 150. Okay, we're getting somewhere here. 150. So that first year, 150 tabs. I kept doing the same thing second year. So 2017, 2018, 2000. So from 2017 September, 2018 September, 2019 September, 18, 19, 2, and then I stopped. Yeah, I actually did it for 2 years and 4 months before I stopped this what I would call madness. Okay, so 300 taps. I did about 300 to 400 taps. That's actually like a good ballpark of this. 300 to 400, that's a lot in a 2.5 year span. That's a lot, folks. That's a lot. Okay, I don't recommend anyone do this. I do not recommend. Would I change it? No. No, I wouldn't. It was a pretty fun time in my life. Would I do it again? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Would I recommend anyone do it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay? So, let me just say, in a way I was addicted. What was I addicted to? The state was wonderful. I was so grateful, man. Every day I would cry, like cry. I would listen to the Sufi music, this mystical Muslim thing where they dance and they have beautiful music, and I would just cry. Oh, so grateful. For like 2.5 years, I was living on the clouds, but I was functional here. I even worked in coffee shops, like normal life. Nobody would ever be able to tell I was on this very powerful substance. People loved being around me because I was like a positive, beaming, positive human being. Just giving everybody compliments, telling everybody what the good things they are, giving people, motivation, making these videos. Okay, look at the first half of my channel was between 2017 to 2019. To the end of 2019 is when I stopped this experiment. I was always on LSD pretty much. Okay, and look at all the wisdom that's flowing through me and all the positivity. I'm still like that now. In a way, those 2.5 years changed my brain in a positive way, but then I don't know what kind of negative effects it left behind. I don't know what it did to my brain, and I don't know what it did to my body. And now I'm going to provide you with my perspective on this. Okay? Despite all the positive things that were going on, I began to grow a little suspicious towards the end of this experiment that this much of a very powerful substance, first of all, was leaving me chronically dehydrated, because whenever you take psychedelics, you feel thirsty. You feel thirsty. And I began to grow more health conscious, and I began to grow more body conscious, and realize that I am thirsty every time I take this. And I was taking them in big doses. Sure, there was tolerance, but believe me, if you take 2 days off, and sometimes I would take a week or 2 weeks off to completely offset the tolerance. I would do that every now and then. Believe me, if you're taking, like, by the 5th day, I would take a tab. I would feel pretty, like, I would just be in a psychedelic state, but yet somehow functional, because there's some tolerance there. Like, it was too much, okay? It was mid-dose. I would say this wasn't a microdosing experiment. This was a mid-dosing experiment. And I was realizing I'm chronically dehydrated. And every time I took it, I'm thirsty. And no matter how much I drank, I'm thirsty. And then the other thing is my digestion. And I did a little research on this lately, and apparently in general, psychedelics, LSD, magic mushrooms, they not good for your digestive system. It doesn't. It's. I mean, it's not surprising. Some people, they throw up after taking psilocybin mushrooms, right? And I was really growing, like becoming more health conscious, more body conscious, and I was realizing, okay, definitely, it may be giving me positive psychological feelings, but first of all, I'm growing dependent on this. Second of all, my body doesn't feel right. It feels off. I feel I'm chronically dehydrated, and I feel there's something seriously being impacted in a negative way by regularly taking this very powerful substance. I didn't like that, and now my line of thought is, if anything makes you dehydrated, it should not be a regular part of your life. Period. It should not be a regular part of your life. So I didn't like that. I started to grow discontent with the physical consequences, the negative physical consequences, and believe me, they are there. Okay, dehydration. If you are in the habit, next time notice your hydration levels. Or if next time, let's say you do it responsibly, because my opinion on psychedelics is that I don't think they should be taken regularly, even in a true microdosing sense, because I did not truly microdose, I mid-dosed. Even in a truly microdosing sense, I think they can be useful in like a little experiment. I'm gonna microdose for a few weeks and then I'm gonna get off of them. I don't think those substances, any substance that dehydrates you, I mean, first of all, these substances are straight up toxic. Okay, straight up toxic. And when we agree, all right, I'm gonna get myself in a proper setting and I'm gonna do mushrooms or LSD, we're agreeing to take on some physical consequences here for some spiritual and psychological benefits. This is why I think these substances should be done once in a blue moon, in a controlled setting, in a way to give you insights, to give you certain insights or certain feelings that you can take and implement in your day-to-day sober life without dependency on substances. Look at the word substance. It's a substance. Whenever you depend on any substance, whether it's a psychological dependency or a physical dependency, and I definitely was dependent on it psychologically, not physically. These things are not physically addictive at all, actually, whatsoever. Whenever you are taking a substance in your body, it's a substance. It's actually a substance. It's in the language. You're taking a substance. It's not the superior substance. It's a substance. Like, you know how when you say something is suboptimal, subpar, meaning it's not the ultimate, it's not the optimal. And whenever you depend on a substance, you are taking a substance. So now looking back at this, anything that's going to dehydrate you, anything that's going to influence your digestive system in a negative way, anything that's toxic, these things are toxic. They're toxic. All fungus, all mushrooms have some level of toxicity to them. So some people throw up when they eat too many magic mushrooms, or any mushrooms for that matter. You know, you're supposed to cook your regular mushrooms because they're toxic, because the cooking neutralizes some of the toxins. But all mushrooms are toxic to the human body to varying degrees. So if you're constantly putting toxicity in any form in your body, I don't think that's something that should be a regular part of your life. I maintain that these substances have very good, very, very amazing, powerful benefits to modern humans, because, you know, we're in the Kali Yuga, we're in the age of darkness. And I maintain these substances can be very powerful and very much life-changing. They've changed my life, man, to the positive. But my opinion is that they should be done every once in a blue moon, very responsibly, and they should not be a regular part of anyone's life. Even in a microdose, in a true microdosing setting, okay? That's my opinion. Yes, there's some studies, some research, they show that if you microdose mushrooms, they're gonna help with neurogenesis, with the regeneration of your neurons. Maybe so, but are we looking at perhaps some of the unknown negative consequences of putting something that is inherently toxic. Yes, you're taking it in a small dose, so the toxicity is minimal. Your body can probably handle the toxicity. Okay, of course, if you do microdosing, it's going to be less impactful on your hydration levels or on your digestive system. But again, regular use, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure these things are supposed to be used regularly, even in a microdosing setting. Now, I could see somebody like, if I wanted to have an experiment like that again, I'm not against that. I would this time maybe just do it like, all right, I'm gonna do a microdosing, not a mid-dosing, for like a month. Maybe it'll help me with something for like a month, and then I'm gonna stop. That's it. By the way, just to show you guys, I'm gonna show you this. Look at this. It's funny. So you probably can't see here. Can you see the little cuties in there? Right? Yeah, you can see little cuties. See these? It's funny because we picked these. Me and Miranda picked these for. You just picked them here. They in the rainy season they're growing all over the place. These are magic. These are powerful mushrooms. These are powerful. Okay, they're called peneleos. I took them once. Trip, not in microdosing. I took I'm not kidding, 0.6. I was flying high like a kite. If you look at these peneleos, Miranda's done more research on this, she knows. Peneleos, okay, they grow in South America. Wow, they are powerful. You need about 1/4 the regular dose of your average psilocybin to feel the effects. So anyway, we have a ton of them. We picked them in the rainy season, like 5 months ago, and I've only done them once since, because to be honest, I mean, I took them once. It was a nice experience, but I don't feel like I need them, and I don't feel like we wanted to microdose them, and none of us did that, because you know why? Life is so wonderful. If you do life properly, it's so wonderful. There is no need for anything. So that's another thing I want to tell you guys, that these things are very much therapeutic and they're very helpful. And again, they have changed my life to the positive. I would not be the same person that I am now if I did not dabble with psychedelics, and I dabbled hard and deep with them. But I'm going to tell you something. You use these things for as long as you feel the urge to. Sometimes I used them for years. Okay, I used them for years, and we picked so many of those, like so many, and you only need a tiny amount. If you tiny amounts. And I've done them just once. Miranda's done them twice. Because you know what? If you do life properly, if you live a full life every day, there's no need for anything. So these things, they're therapeutic, they're amazing, they're wonderful, but just be aware of the psychological addiction that can come about, and be aware of the physical consequences that these things can cause you, because look, they are toxic. Like, part of the reason why you get those hallucinations and you feel the way you feel, and part of the reason why some people will throw up, is because of the toxicity of these things. The body wants to get them out of the body as soon as possible. So even if they are taken in a microdose, in a very small amount, I wonder if in the long term that's going to be good for your body to constantly put something that's toxic to it like that on a regular basis. Anyway, so if you feel a calling to microdose, if you feel a calling to mid-dose, if you feel a calling to do just big trips every now and then, please do it responsibly. I've got a ton of videos on this. Go on the playlist. It's called Psychedelics. I have very detailed videos on how to do these things responsibly. Okay, responsibly. Proper setting, okay? And you do them until you feel like, okay, all right, they've given me what I need, and just that's it. Forget about it after, and just live a righteous life, live a full life. Like, let me give you an example of my life looks like right now. I wake up, I take a cold shower, I go for a beautiful walk. I live in nature right now, okay? I live in just nature all the time, 24/7, airflow, everything, all the time. I go take a nice, beautiful walk. I pray. I do prayers. I just pray to God. I thank God for things. I thank God for all the beautiful blessings. And then I work out. And then I do either push-ups or pull-ups. And then I come back here. I make some juice. I've got cucumber lemon juice here. I'm basically, here's another, I'll give you another tip when it comes to food. So the breatharian state is the microdose state. So I'm working my way up to the breatharian state at the moment. I'm liquid based. Most of what I consume these days is liquids because it's so nice and light. There's more energy available that goes to your brain and other parts of you, and you just feel clarity and lightness. So that's another thing. You know, if you're doing life properly, you're eating properly, you're drinking properly, you're staying hydrated, you're active, you're praying to God, you're connecting to God, you have wonderful relationships in your life, you are active, you are in touch with your mission. Look, I make videos every single day. There's a video, you see, and I feel so amazing and creative. There is no need. This opened me up to all of these things. This made me, you know what made me realize that humans are naturally breatharians, and what made me realize that I should lighten up my diet, and I should lighten up everything, and I should be more compassionate. And you know what opened up my creativity? The psychedelics. This opened it up. But it would be silly. I don't even have an urge. I don't even have an urge to take it. It would be silly if you have crutches, you got injured. We all got injured. We all got traumatized in life. If you got injured, right? Yeah, it's good to use some crutches, but it would be silly to keep carrying your crutches when you can just walk normal. And I feel like I can walk normal now. Why would I want to take them? So that's my point. That's my point. My point is, we all got injured. We all got traumatized. This is a good tool for the Kali Yuga, for the Age of Darkness to use. It opens up, it reminds you of who you are, opens up your creativity, opens up energy blockages. And it also, you know what told me to do all of this? What told me to lighten up the diet, go on liquids, go on fruit base, go stretch more, release tension. It's all of that. You know who told me to be more compassionate to others, to be more considerate? It was that. It was the psychedelics. So I get it. If you feel a calling for this and you feel stuck in life, they can be wonderful. But it's silly to carry out your crutches when you can walk. So I say, you use it until you can, in a very responsible way, until you feel like, okay, and then get off of it. Get off of it. That's it. Live the life that these beautiful, wonderful substances instruct you to live. Because they usually want you to live, they want you to be self-sufficient, they want you to live a nice, beautiful, wonderful, light life. They want you to do that. And they tell you, if you listen, they're always telling you, aren't they? Be present, be grateful, be kind to your loved ones, exercise more, eat lighter, etc., etc. You know what really opened my eyes to breatharianism? Breatharianism, by the way, if you reach and stabilize the breatharian state, the immediate state, you basically are 24/7 in a microdose state. Your senses are enhanced, everything is enhanced. You don't believe me? Go on like a 7-day juice cleanse, not even water fast, not even dry fast. It's not the breatharian state, but it's just go lighter. And you'll be like, whoa, I can see better, I can breathe better, I can hear better. And if you actually clean your body, you detox your body from all the impurities, and you detox your mind and your emotional body from all the traumas and the resentment, everything, you will be in a natural microdose state. You will be more naturally, and you will have no need for that. You will have no need for the crutch. So that's also another thing I want to share with you guys, is like, really listen carefully to what these substances tell you, and then implement and apply these things. Apply them, because all this shows you is your natural state. That's all it does. It shows you your natural state, and then you do the things you ought to do. If you pray every day, if you practice gratitude every day, you're going to naturally feel higher, lighter, happier. If you exercise, if you move the blood through your system, it's all these things that you do, and then that's it. We are self-sufficient. Our natural state is happiness, health, and strength. Isn't that what Wim Hof says? He's like, our natural state is happiness, strength, health. It is our natural state. We don't need anything. We don't even need food. Guys, take that in. We don't even need water, but that's too far. You have to clean your body first for that. Okay, I'm getting in the habit of intermittent dry fasting now. 18 to 22 hours a day. and I do everything. I live a normal life. I work out. I do everything as normal. And when you really clean your body, you don't need nothing. Nothing. Nothing, guys. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. So yeah, again, I am eternally grateful for these substances. I mean, I'll probably at some point, it's been sitting here, we got a lot more. It's been sitting here for 5-6 months untouched. Maybe I'll go up the mountain one of these days and just take it, just for fun, just to see what's up. But, you know, again, you do life properly, you get in touch with your mission, get creative, serve others, help others. Get creative, do what you're here to do, what you're here meant to do, and then you naturally feel like, I don't need anything. I love life as it is. It's so perfect, it's so wonderful. We're naturally in a state of bliss. And yeah, so now, like, even like taking a little microdose right now my body's highly sensitive now. I'll immediately feel the thirst. I don't like feeling thirsty. I do not like feeling thirsty. You see, I really don't like it. Because the minute you feel thirsty, it's like because something takes away from you. Because you feel thirsty. Why do you feel thirsty? You feel thirsty after eating a big meal because your body needs to process it and there's toxicity and the body needs to get it out. But same thing with like mushrooms or LSD. You feel thirsty after because the body sees, oh, that's a toxin. Give me some water because I wanna get it out of the system. So at some point you get yourself in such a nice, wonderful, blissful state that anything that is being put in there is a substance. It's an interference. So anyway, thank you. Thank you. You guys have served me wonderful. And I'm certainly not opposed to an experience or two in the near future or in the distant future. And I certainly see the value in using these substances in a very dark age that we're living in, the Kali Yuga, with all the traumatized humans and all the all the distractions and everything. They are very useful. Perhaps in a more enlightened age, we will have zero need for these things. But until then, I definitely certainly see the value in these things. And I hope you got something out of this video. Remember, it's my experience. I'm sharing with you my experience, and that's that. Okay, my experience. And yeah, my sincere gratitude to our generous donors. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. Mwah. I offer one-on-one consulting services. If you're interested to book a call, the links for both are down below in the description. Instagram, my name, Saeed Mobayed. Give us a follow there. Until next time, may the force be with you.